Relationship advice update. My wife is so paranoid. I'm having an inappropriate relationship with my 15-year-old goddaughter. I'm worried it's going to ruin our marriage and my relationship with my goddaughter and her father. Original post. I've always been close to my goddaughter. Her father and I were both in the Marines together and went through a lot. My wife, 33, all of a sudden has it in her head that there's something inappropriate going on. There isn't. I don't know where she's gotten this idea. My goddaughter, Izzy, and I go on hikes together every Saturday. This is a tradition that's older than my wife and I's relationship lately. My wife has insisted on coming with us, despite her dislike of hiking. Her reasoning is that you never know what could happen when you two are alone in the woods. When we go over to eat at their house, she'll lurk around and ensure that Izzy and I aren't in the same room together. If we are, she'll immediately come in the room and insert herself into our conversation. Izzy's father has begun to notice my wife's behavior and has asked me about it. I'm disgusted that she'd think I'm capable of something like this. I don't know where this is coming from. It's actually a pretty alarming change of personality. None of her friends' husbands have experienced something like this, so I don't know where this is coming from. All of a sudden, I've asked her about it. She gets incredibly agitated and says that you never know. And sometimes she says anyone can accuse anyone of anything along those lines. Does this sound like the beginnings of a mental illness? Now, for the top advice before we read the update. Something similar happened with my uncle and I. Everything was fine between his girlfriend and I up until I hit the age of 17. Then she lost her mind once when I hugged my uncle at Christmas, calling me a who? Yeah, he broke up with her. The problem is in you noisy. It's entirely in her head and her accusations are quite severe. Her obvious jealousy issues will get worse and worse if it isn't quickly addressed. Wow, I'm sorry that happened to you. That's messed up. Not excusing your wife's behavior by any means here. But I have to ask, how much do you know about her past? Do you know if perhaps she was in a messed up situation around that age? It could be extreme jealousy, or the sudden and drastic change in behavior could be an underlying symptom of serious mental distress/illness. Either way, I think it's time to call in the professionals on this one. No matter the root cause, it needs to be addressed ASAP before the situation ends up messed up beyond repaired. Worse than it already is, unsure if it's mental illness or something someone else has put in her head, but it definitely has to be addressed ASAP. I would sit down with her, tell her that you have never behaved inappropriately with Izzy, that you're actually offended that she seems to think you will, that even Izzy's father has noticed she's behaving strangely and that you need it stopped before it damages your friendships with both Izzy and her father, and you really think the best place to address it is in marriage counseling. If she refuses to go, I would seriously reconsider staying married to her. If she starts voicing what she's evidently thinking, she could ruin not only your friendships, but your entire life. Counterpoint to this is perhaps she, at one point, was violated or in an age-inappropriate relationship. Maybe despite her hopeful trust in her husband, her instincts to protect and guard this girl are kicking in. You never know. Yeah, actually you do. Cause I'm telling you need to nip this in the bud with some marriage counseling. I agree, that seems like the most sensible route right now. And now for the update. So it took a little while to get to the bottom of this, but happily, I have a sort of happy update for you all. My wife found out her brother was having an affair with a much younger woman. For context, her brother is a real piece of work. I've always known it, but she's had the wool pulled over her eyes about him. So when she found out about this, she was pretty upset. So my wife was processing a lot of things. I guess she was thinking something along the lines of, wow, if Ben could do something like this, maybe my husband can. As for the things she was saying about accusations, she was worried that if he found out she knew about his affair with an underage girl, he would use my close relationship with his to make accusations about me in retaliation. Like I said, he's a real piece of work. She started crying when she finally told me all of this. I guess this was really weighing on her. I wish she'd told me sooner. But my wife processes things strangely. As for her brother, we talked it over and decided that privately speaking to the young lady's parents was our best round as of yet. No retaliatory accusations from him. Thanks for all of the advice. I really appreciated all of it. Have a great night, everyone. Now for the top comments. I am so impressed how you and your wife had the wherewithal and love to process this together with honesty and caring. Thanks for sharing. If the person her brother is having an affair with is a minor, then it's child abuse and should be reported to the proper authorities. If you talk to the parents about it and they end the relationship between the two of them, there is the risk of him going and just finding another girl who is underage that he can manipulate and train. It should be reported at it. But I am really happy that you and your wife have been able to talk things out as a couple. It really shows how much you two care about each other. Probably not if it were. I think Opie and his wife are smart enough to have been back from the police station by now. She's probably some 18 to 20-year-old girl. His affair with an underage girl. This is not a thing. The words you're looking for is Mustang. He's violating an underage girl. Yes, Opie refers to a relationship with a much younger woman. Then she's an underage girl than a young lady. This underage girl is a child, not a younger woman or a young lady. Clarifications. I understand that in a perfect world it would be wonderful if we could just call the police, tell them about my brother-in-law. He would get arrested and rot in a jail cell for the rest of his life. This is unfortunately not how the real world or the legal system works. My wife did not have photos, texts or emails to prove that her brother was having this relationship. All she had was a conversation she overheard of her brother talking explicitly to this girl. What she overheard was not recorded. So it was entirely a case of her word against his. Making these sorts of allegations without solid proof is dangerous and could result in legal repercussions. And yes, she is a girl. She is 17. I apologize to anyone I offended by calling her a young lady when I was a teenager. My mother used to flick my ear when I'd say that girl instead of that young lady. She said it was disrespectful. Old habits die hard. So we went to the child's parents because they have access to her phone, computer, etc., and get actual solid proof. Something was going on. I do not know what happened after we told the parents. I do know that they were furious, and if they can pursue legal action, I'm sure they will. The age of consent in the state we reside in is 17, but my brother-in-law is quite a bit older than her, 10 years. As for brother-in-law's wife, that's another sticky situation. I'm not going to get too into that, but yes, she's been made aware of the affair, not by my wife and I don't know what's going to happen with them. Luckily they don't have any children together, so a divorce would be quick if she chooses to do that. As for the people think it's suspicious, I'm spending time with my goddaughter. I'm really sorry. Your view of the world is so twisted. You don't think it's possible for a man to have a relationship with someone he has literally known since she was born. Yes, there are predators out there and you should always be aware, alert and ready to fight like hell when you see someone possibly being taken advantage of or abused. But sometimes you also have to accept that there are just nice wholesome relationships out there. He is a kid to me. She's always going to be the doofus with juice box stains and crooked pigtails because her father and I couldn't do her hair to save our lives. There is literally no way in this universe I could ever look at her romantically. It was pretty gross just to write that. And yeah, it was an issue. My wife thought she had to bear this on her own. We discussed in length why she thought this when she was a child. Her mother really drilled into her that family matters. Stay strictly in the family. You know, those families that hide abuse or something because they think you need to guard your family's secrets. That's the sort of family my wife grew up in, and it's a hard thing to unlearn, but we'll get there anyway. I hope this appeased any concerns. Have a great day, everyone. Now for the next story. I found out my girlfriend of 3 years cheated on me. 1 year ago I was planning on proposing. My girlfriend, 22 female and I, 22 male, have been dating for 3 years and a half. Let's call her, and I understand love can be blinding, but she really is an incredible woman. She's witty, fit, passionate, mature. The list goes on. I have many friends with significant others, and I've dated many girls in the past. However, she really takes the cake by how incredible she is. That was until I found out today that she cheated on me a year ago. We have had a fantastic relationship. We push each other to be better people, and we've been through some crap. She's never been toxic, and is a great communicator. The summer of 2019, we were apart for 3 months long distance, but still in what I thought was a healthy relationship. I had an internship out of state and she told me some random guy kissed her and that they hung out for a week. I was devastated and told her I knew my worth and broke up with her. I wished her well and told her I would not mention her cheating to anyone because I loved her and I don't want to see her reputation ruined. She called and called for days until I headed in me to answer. She me a flight immediately. And when I saw her, we talked for hours on end. For the 2 days I spent with her, She assured me he initiated the kiss. And after that, they only hung out platonically. She blocked the guy and never talked to him again. This is a fact. We spent the next year abroad studying in Spain before COVID sent us home. And during the year, we grew closer together than we have ever been before. I loved her so much, and every day she showed her love to me through all 5 love languages. This happy story ended today. I was planning on proposing when we graduated and getting married the year after. I really saw her as my endgame. My family loves her, her family loves me, and our relationship has never been better. I couldn't see myself with anyone else. But still, the summer of 2019 was eating me alive. I reached out to the guy that kissed her and told him that I'd like peace of mind before things get serious between Anne and myself, before I make a lifetime commitment. He was very apologetic and said he's as much to blame as he was in a low point in his life. Besides the point, he goes on to say that they did make out on several occasions and that she gave him head, but he never saw her naked. I don't know what to do for one. Our relationship has never been better, and I still love this girl. I always will. On the other hand, love can be blinding. I would really appreciate an outsider's perspective on my situation, clarifying that by saying we were apart for 3 months, I meant that I was out of state for an internship. We were very much together in what I thought was a beautiful relationship. Now, for the top advice before the little update. At 22, you probably don't realize how young you are. You've got so much ahead of you to lock yourself into a commitment with an untrustworthy person. She's witty, fit, passionate, mature, the list goes on. You forgot to add dishonest to this list. Same with dating many girls in the past. Yeah. When you're under 19, you date girls, little girls that know nothing about life. So comparing an adult to them is bad enough. Of course, she usually be better than a kiddo. Try dating a different adult and you might get similar results. Cheating for me is a deal breaker because it haunts you at night, and that's the worst. It's over, man. I'm 26. Went through a 5-year relationship and caught her cheating. She tried to get back together and I was not self-respecting and gave her another chance. She led me on even more and was clearly still seeing who else was out there for her, even while telling me how badly she messed up and wanted to try again. You can't go back. You are younger than one, and one wish someone would have told me cheating is almost always unable to get past. If she's capable of cheating once, she's capable of cheating again. Do you really want to spend your time wondering if she's cheating going forward? She will say many things, but the actions are what matter. She cheated. End of story. There are billions of women on this earth. Go find one that respects you enough not to cheat and knows what they are losing if they do make the decision to cheat. Thank you so much for your comment. I read the entire post, comments included. I found solace in your words and I know I made the right decision. My post is updated and, as you'll see, I'm broken. How long did it take for you to wake up but not have her be the first thing you thought about? I don't necessarily think cheating can't be recovered from, especially when it's only physical and short, etc., etc. But like you are way too young to need to attempt to recover this. You're not in your 40s raising kids and trying to make it work or whatever. Go live your life. Very true, Opie. When you look back on this relationship in 15 years' time, I can almost guarantee you that you will be so happy and relieved that you never married this girl. She has shown you that she is not ready to settle down with one guy, and you also have a lot of living to do. Post is updated. I can't wait until 15 years pass. Update. Thank you everyone so much for the feedback and different perspectives. I confronted her and came clean. She got intimate with 2 different people during that summer. I have enough self-respect and know my worth. It is over between her and I. It's crazy how you can be so close to someone, and the next day, that same person is the farthest away. The last story is titled I-26 Female. Caught my mom, 57 female, cheating on my stepdad. 63 male, and I'm broken over it a few days ago. I caught my mom speaking with her old flame from years ago. My mom is not a traveler and is not tech savvy. So when I found out that she's going to Ohio for 2 weeks to visit her cousin, I was a little suspicious. Normally she would have asked me or my stepdad for help setting up her trip, but she didn't. She left her Facebook account open on our PC, and I admit that I snooped on one of her Facebook messages. I saw that she had sent her friends screenshots of her conversation with her flying. I was so upset when I found out. Knowing my mother, she would deny it despite me knowing it, so I didn't bother bringing this up to her. My stepdad and I are very close, so I figured he deserves to know the truth. I told him and he was obviously crushed by it. He told my mom that he knows and she had admitted it to him but is pretending that nothing is wrong. I still live with my parents, so the tension between us three are pretty tense. I haven't spoken to my mom for days now. She has also been very open about her fling, as she has told my cousin and our co-worker. We work in the same organization, but different units. Her co-worker suggested that my stepdad and her do marriage counseling, but she said she does not want to. As far as I know, she still plans on coming back home after she sees her fling in Ohio. I feel that her actions are extremely disrespectful to my stepdad and I feel guilty for telling him. And I also feel that I may have caused this, since one of the things that she said to our coworkers that everything was fine until I came into picture during one of our old fights. She told me that I stole her husband. I came from an abusive home where my dad constantly mistreated me, my brother, and my mom, and having a very loving father figure in my life was a welcome change. I am so broken over this. I don't even know what to do. Top advice. Clearly, your mom does not care about anyone's feelings but her own. The only thing you can do is be supportive of your stepdad and what he is going through. You did the right thing telling him. If I were in your shoes now, I would just be clear to him that you are sticking by him and view him as your father and don't want that to change. He will need the support, and he will appreciate it. The fact she was telling her co-worker speaks volumes about her. It's as if she was intentionally doing it to get word back to your stepfather. She just needed a scapegoat to do it. Absolutely disgusting. Please don't feel bad for your stepdad. It wasn't your actions that are hurting him, and it's better. He knows, so he can decide for himself how he wants to handle the situation. And that's it for this video, guys. If you have thoughts to share, leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like this content. I'll catch you in the next one. Good day, everyone.